Well, I'm so pleased to welcome back at the Daily Signal, Natasha Owens. She's a patriot, she's a singer, and she is really at the center of, I think, so much of what is happening within the conservative movement, and maybe that kind of collision of culture and politics. So, Natasha, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
We're here at the Conservative Political Action Conference, just right outside of Washington, D.C.
Yes.
I would love to ask you first to share just a little bit of your own story and background. How did you wind up being this person that sings the national anthem right before Trump speaks? I mean, that's pretty cool.
It is great. And, I never, ever would have dreamed that would be me. I come from a very musical family, but I struggled with stage anxiety tremendously. Wow. So growing up in church, I always wanted to sing, but I wanted to be in the background. And in 2010, my dad died cleaning his guns at a table. A bullet came off and hit him in the heart. And I down spiraled into the deepest depression in a fight for my life. My pastor asked me to be a music minister 6 months into that depression, and it saved my life. It was many times of him asking, and he called on the right day and said the right thing. And I wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for that. And so that was a training ground. I had to get out of depression, conquer my anxiety, and learn how to minister and step up, which was a big difference from normal praise singing. And but it was a process, and God got me there and illuminated a path that was a training ground for what I started doing in contemporary Christian. But in 2018, I began to see the industry was so progressive and so Democrat and anti-Trump and the church was not standing up for biblical values. I mean, just silence. And so when Virginia and New York did the full-term abortion, I said, the church needs to stand. So we wrote a song called Stand. That was kind of my trajectory changed, right? And then I did a patriotic album in 2020 with a pro-life song, and the contemporary Christian industry said I was too pro-life, I could offend.
Wow.
And started firing me off of events and boycotting me, refusing to play my music. And so my husband had said for 2 years, you need to do a Trump 1 song because we're not allowed to talk about that. Why don't you give him a song to sing? I'm covered under a different level of protection. That's why you hear songs about murder and rape and disgusting things, because we're allowed to sing it. Mm-hmm. So that's what I did. And little did I know, I said, I can't do a Trump song because I will blow up my career for good in Nashville. When they did that to me on the pro-life, I said, do I really want to be a part of an industry that doesn't stand for life? So I swung, and we did Trump 1, and it soared. It went number 1. I'm the only one so far that Trump keeps sharing my songs. He loves songs about him, of course. It brought me to a different stage, a different platform, and now I am doing songs of truth, topics that are too controversial, that people normally would not touch with a 10-foot pole. That's what I'm going to sing about, because that's what needs to be talked about, right? And it's been a fun journey over the past 2 years, and bringing me to stages that I don't deserve, and I never could believe that I got there on my own. God did it.
How have you navigated that space that is, the performing space, the art space, the artist space? It's not conservative, as you have experienced firsthand. How have you navigated being a conservative voice in that space and a Christian voice in that space?
I'm a very strong female. I was raised a tomboy, and just loved I played football till I was 7th grade until I started getting hurt. Only girl on the team.
Did you really?
Yes, but I have this.
Football.
Yeah, tackle football.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I was a running back. I was so fast that nobody could catch me until they did and hurt me. So I became a track star after that. But I have this toughness. I have this softness. I love bling and female things and purses and shoes and all this stuff. But I have this very tough personality that I don't always connect with women because I don't like the drama. Right?
Yeah.
I hate drama, and I mostly have friends that are guys, or at least I did growing up. So, and my dad raised me to speak the truth, have integrity, and stand for what's right, no matter if you stand alone. Don't regret not standing up. And so I'm so thankful for that background and my foundation, and my husband, he's my anchor and my encouragement. He just says, Tosh, you're doing the right thing regardless of what people say. I put out a song for President Trump in June with a controversial title called The Chosen One. as a Christian, I do not believe that he's the Messiah by all means. He's an imperfect man, but we see that God has always used imperfect people because he's a perfect God.
Yeah.
And nothing was sticking to President Trump. So we did a song called The Chosen One that made the liberal media melt down. We had 1.5 billion social media posts alone about it.
Wow.
And I had tens of thousands of messages from atheists quoting me scripture.
Wow.
It hit so quickly and so negative that the Republican side, the conservative side, was too afraid to come to my help, right? Until 4 weeks later when President Trump almost got assassinated, and then everybody was calling him the chosen one. But I got discouraged because the good guys weren't backing me. And my husband said, Tosh, we did what was right. We wrote it in such a way that is very clear how you stand. When has there ever been a song or an artist put out something where you have an atheist, causes an atheist to open up their Bible and quote you scripture to prove you wrong? We've had tens of thousands. As a Christian, we have done our job, right? So don't hold your head down. Double down and say you're not apologizing for it. And so I did that. And God is just so good. There's something about the culture that we live in today. People thirst for truth.
Yeah.
Just shoot me straight. No matter how bad the news is, tell me the truth. And that's what I plan on doing. I'm going to fight for truth. I'm going to fight for the underdog. And if it gives someone else the courage to stand up, that's why I'm doing it.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
Very powerful. Tell us, how do we follow your music? And you have a newer album that recently came out.
Yep.
Tell us about that. And then how do we keep up with all of your music as it comes out?
Natasha Owens Music is .com is a landing page. It has all the information you could ever need, or just Google my name. Anywhere you find music or stream it or buy it, that's where you find me. I have 7 albums. We just put our last album out called That America. Came out right before the elections, and it's got the Trump One song on it, the Trump One remix that we did on election night, the Chosen One, the orchestra version of Star Spangled Banner that I've been doing here at CPAC and around the world, and it's got some really cool songs that you wouldn't expect on it. That's my political album, and it has a song that we put on it called "Give Me a Cowboy."
Ooh.
We launched that right before the election, and I knew that it was going to get lost in the press because I have to launch my songs from press releases now because I'm too controversial for radio. So, but I told my team, I said, I know it's going to get lost, but if Harris wins, it will be considered hate speech. And I want to go ahead and launch it. And I'm going to launch it at Pride Month. It hits the demasculation of men, how men should not apologize for being men, how there's differences between women and men. God made us that way. We cannot compete with a man, and a man cannot compete with us in so many areas. And that men can't have babies. It just has a lot of truth, but it's a very cool way of, I'm from Texas, so it's the cowboy creed. What does a cowboy stand for? Honesty, integrity. He loves his family, God, and this country, and he doesn't apologize for being strong.
Yeah.
So check it out. I'm proud of it. It's my favorite right now.
That is awesome. Natasha Owens, thank you as
Thank
always.
you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, all the best to you.
You too.
Subscribe to get the news the legacy media won't tell you and only the Daily Signal can bring to you.